Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Classic opening line. It's timeless. But what happened to the chestnuts? By the time the Christmas song, or Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, was written in 1945, the American chestnut tree was nearly extinct. Long before Christmas songs even existed, the American chestnut tree dominated the majority of what is now the eastern United States. For thousands of years, the chestnut was an integral part of native food systems. At one point, around 50% of all trees in East Coast forests were the American chestnut, and they produced around 20 million pounds of chestnuts every year. As European settlers arrived and displaced the native people that were living on the East Coast, they adopted the American chestnut as part of their food systems, and also realized that American chestnut wood was really good for building stuff. Nut ripening and harvesting of chestnuts coincided with the holiday season, and newspapers in the late 19th century featured articles about train cars of chestnuts being sold in major cities, where they were roasted over charcoal and sold on street corners. So they became closely associated with Christmas. Chestnuts were not special because they were particularly rare. They were special because they were everywhere. But that all changed in the early 1900s. A variety of Asian chestnut trees were imported into the United States, and these trees were immune to a specific fungal disease that the American chestnut trees weren't. People started to notice that there were some American chestnut trees in the Bronx Zoo that were dying, and it took them several years to track down where this disease was coming from. But it spread so quickly that there really was no way to stop it. So by the 1920s, the fungal disease had reached to forests as far as Ontario, Canada. And by the 1930s, most trees on the American East Coast were infected. By 1940, it's estimated that 3.5 billion trees had been lost to the fungal disease. So just in a matter of decades, the American chestnut population had been decimated. While there are groups like the American Chestnut Foundation that are trying to bring back the American chestnut, most chestnuts that we consume in the United States today are imported from places like Italy, Korea, and China, with the majority coming from Italy, which is kind of the sad irony of the whole thing, that imported chestnuts originally brought the disease that decimated the American chestnut, and now we rely on them for the Christmas tradition to continue.